Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. I'm Anthony Sier, as always, here on Tuesday hosting our Tuesday program here. Why am I going with it Thursday? Leo, maybe you got a Thursday thing in my mouth. And welcome another edition of our program here, Focus on Liberia, where we always do our best to educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. In the house, Mr. Leo Johnson is comfortably seated. Leo, we are happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Anthony. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion here.
Thank you so very much. Leo is also the host of the program, The Liberian Dream. And you want to have a Liberian dream? You're talking education as your pillow. We are here to talk about education. We have in the house also Mr. Melvin Howard. He is the national president of the University of Liberia Alumni Association in the Americas. Mr. Howard, it's good to have you.
Thank you for the invite, and happy to be on this platform.
Thank you so very much. Well, you might be wondering, what is the topic? We always try to have something interesting for you. The University of Liberia, a travesty of education and nation building. Is that true? Leo is here. Howard is here, and we will go into it. Gentlemen, we have to get started here in no time. Howard, make a little adjustment to your monitor so that we can see a little more of you. Yeah, just bring it close to you a little bit. No, yeah, bring it forward like you're pulling it to you. All right, not too much now. Not too much. Not too much. Yeah, that is good. Thank you so very much. We appreciate it.
You want to see my whole face, right?
No. Your face is still young. You're looking very good there, brother. Thank you again, gentlemen, for having you. The University of Liberia, as we all know, is challenged beyond measures, and we have to talk about it. But before we get started, gentlemen, let me get a 1 minute opening statement from you, starting with you, Mr. Howard. You are an alumni of that particular great institution.
Well, thanks to the Focus of Liberia staff for granting me the opportunity to be here this morning. We give God the glory. And brothers here, I want to say I'm very happy to share this platform with you and my own brother Johnson, so as to discuss some pertinent issues as they relate to education in our beloved country. So looking forward to a fruitful discussion and interaction, even from your colors. Let us discuss the issue, but not the personality. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Leo, this thing, you have been on this road talking about the University of Liberia. Your opening statement.
Thank you. And also it's good to see my brother Melvin Howard as well. And also, Anthony, thank you again to Focus on Liberia for always providing the opportunity for us to have these discussions. These discussions are not meant to denigrate any one of us in any way. It's actually meant to sharpen the conversation so we can find a way forward, especially as someone who comes from a generation that have been consistently denied any form of quality education in Liberia until some of us have been blessed to come outside to be able to have that. I find this discussion to be overdue, long overdue, and I'm really looking forward to learning and to sharing ideas as well with my co-host, or with my co-panelists, but also callers and viewers that will be chiming in as well.
Thank you so very much. And folks, those of you who follow Leo, he has been on this subject, and that is why I Focus on Liberia thought to reach out to him, because he has been speaking like somebody in the wilderness, and no one has been paying attention. But of recent, pictures of Liberia's state-run university, the University of Liberia, have been flying on social media. We've seen the pictures. Many of you might have seen these pictures, and they are hard to watch. When you see those pictures, you get spiritually destroyed. Does this represent the University of Liberia? So before we start the discussion, we will do justice to all of us here by showing some of the images of the University of Liberia for which we have to have the discussion. This is another image of the institution. You can see the filth, the dirt on the building of our nation's #1 university. This is another place of the University of Liberia. Can you imagine this? Now, this is supposed to be a female bathroom. This is where our girls, our sisters should be going to take care of business when that call comes. But look at the condition of this place. This is the campus of the University of Liberia. This is also supposed to be a classroom. Look there. Look at the roof. It's even leaking. You can see the water on the floor. Another classroom, again, look at the armchairs that they are using. Is there a good learning environment for students of the University of Liberia? Can we not even maintain a good condition for students? The floor is wet. The armchairs are disgusted. Look at another restroom, and there's a little writing there. If you can see it, they say, "No water, please." So there's a bathroom that somebody's supposed to be able to use, but there is not even water. Can you imagine that? Now, another sections of the University of Liberia, you can see here, this thing is completely dilapidated. Look at the water coming down. I mean, the whole yard is soaked. You can see for yourself. Another classroom. Now, if you see this particular classroom that we're displaying here, the students dress at the edge of the wall or closer to the wall because nearly in the middle of the classroom there is water on the floor. That classroom is leaking. Now, this is supposed to be a hallway. There you see a female student. I don't know if she's trying to go to a bathroom or this is supposed to be a hallway, but you can see the water on the floor. I cannot stand this. These are just few of the pictures of the campuses of the University of Liberia. Again, I will start with Mervin. Mervin, I'm sure you have seen these pictures and we have been able to show them again. What goes through your mind when you see this picture? What does that tell you about your alma mater?
Well, again, Brother Snett, thanks for the opportunity. And as you already said, I saw those photos when they came out. Usually, this social media age, people tend to post images at times. Some are not true, and at times some they just would maybe proud to make mockery out of a situation. But for me, my profession teach me how to go with my daily belief, trust but verified.
Right.
As an auditor, that what guide me and I'm a guiding principle. I trust information, but I need to verify. So immediately when I saw those images, I placed a call into our partners on the ground, the Alumni Association in Liberia, the parents' body, to the leadership. And I also placed a call into the directors of the Alumni Affairs because they have an office for Alumni Affairs to engage all alumni across the globe. And yes, they did confirm those images. It was posted in our various chat rooms. And it was not just one of those social media or Facebook posting that somebody just want to make mockery or LU.
Right.
Yes, those are real, and it's very much disheartening for the fact that knowing us as students of the University of Liberia to see the campus looking like that up to today's day, still disturbing us. And I just want to commend you for giving me the opportunity to come here and let us discuss this issue. Instead of us using like other online talk show, I mean, you cannot control them. Well, just focus on politics. Politics is good, but these are issues that affect every Liberian, be it sedition, be it CPP, JPP, KPP, you name it. The University of Liberia affects the entire country. So I think it is a bold step on your side for us to discuss the issue and let us put the CPP, CDC, who pay how many lobby, who got so many lobby, can't go school, put the discussion aside and look at this issue that is pertinent to our beloved country. So yes, those images are true, very disheartening, and I hope we'll discuss these issues and stakeholders, people that are listening to us, will make sure that we all can come together and help that institution. So thank you.
Thank you so very much. Leo, you've seen the images. When I saw them for the first time, like, no, they can't be true. No, they cannot be true. So what was your first reaction when you saw those pictures? Because you've been on this message.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. In fact, the first time I raised this issue 2 years or 3 years ago when I came from Liberia. I visit the University of Liberia campus every time I'm there to see for myself. I actually do a tour. Every time I've talked about it, people have condemned me that, oh, you never been to the Fenner campus, you never been to the other campus. So this time around, I thought to post those images because these are places myself have seen. So I didn't need to have any verification. I came from Liberia about 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago, I had a chance to have another look. In fact, it's actually worse than some of the images that you've seen. I can tell you that firsthand.
Wow.
So actually, there are worse scenarios than some of the pictures that you've seen. But this is what I would say. I've called consistently, and this is why I call it a travesty of education and nation building. The University of Liberia does not have the capacity to deliver quality education that can address the problems of Liberia as it is. It just doesn't have it. As I speak to you right now, go to the University of Liberia website. There is 0 page for any research. When you go to where they say academic resources, just click on it. It's a blank page.
Right.
Nothing exists. This is not a new issue. The University of Liberia has been like this, at least for the last 10 years that I've been going to Liberia. Because every year that I've gone, I've visited it, I've talked to students directly. So I'm a bit surprised that people are shocked at looking at these images when this has been going on for when you look at those buildings, that's not 1 year problem that make that building look like that.
No.
That's consistent years of neglect and no maintenance, no care at all. But let's forget the infrastructure, Anthony. I want to address the meat of the issue. The meat of the issue is the University of Liberia does not have the capacity, research-wise, facilities-wise, resources-wise, even staffing, let's be honest, does not have the capacity, in my opinion, to deliver the quality of education that is needed when we talk about addressing the issue of nation building and putting out qualified people who have the ability to take it on. Now, don't mistake the resilience of Liberians for granted, right? Even though they are presented with that situation, there are still young people who go to UL and do the best against all odds to try their best and make something of it as much as possible. But we cannot be living on that. That cannot be what we depend on.
But Leo, the question I want to bring in here, how did we get here?
I will tell you how. UL, by every debate, was one of the best post-secondary institutions across the African continent, even in some instances at some point in the world. There were global scholars who came to the University of Liberia to study. I'm young, but we've read some of the exploits of the University of Liberia. There is no debate about that. When the war came, we destroyed it completely. We destroyed it from all angles, whether it was from the facilities, the resources, some of the history, and all of the things that made UL to be one of the greatest institutions. We destroyed it. When we came back from the war, the generation before us let us down by making us to believe that we could just continue from where we stopped. It was not possible because UL was neglected, it was destroyed while other institutions and countries were moving ahead. We were destroying ourselves. So in my opinion, we should have started from scratch to rebuild the institution to ensure that it was matching current day realities and not living on the past glory of the old days. Instead, they came back, just patch it up some kind of way, put it back together, heat it up. The faculties and people that were staying around that could manage to do whatever came back on and say again, oh, this is the UL that was the UL, and started granting degrees that they shouldn't have been even granting to our young people in the first place. So this is how we got here. We refuse to acknowledge that we've destroyed it and we need to rebuild. Instead, we keep patching. Every time somebody exposes something, we go and patch it. Somebody exposes something, we'll go and patch it. And that will not work.
And Mr. Howard, same question. That's your alma mater. How did we get here?
Well, that's a great question. Just before I respond, I always like to do this. I want to make a public disclaimer because most of the talk shows, when you go on them as a guest, you either will be classified as pro-government supporter or anti-government supporter. So my disclaimer here, I am not a politician. I am not part of the ruling party. Neither am I against the ruling party. I am not part of the CPP or OPP or what PP. Neither am I against them. So let me make the disclaimer clear. I am here as a humanitarian. I am here as a citizen, a son of Liberia, who believe in education to give my contribution to this discussion. So
and maybe as a former student of the university.
As a former student and national president of the Alumni Association, I partnership with the university to help them. So I'm not here on any political representation, what a pro-government spokesperson or anti-government. So I just want to make that disclaimer. So how we got here? The University of Liberia been having some old age problem. It would be very unfair to say that everything that is happening right now, at the university should be put on the current administration at the university or the current leadership of the country, because that is a government institution. This problem has been there, and I believe they were worked on, but let's fast forward.
Do you really believe there was work being done on these problems?
I can give you a case in point I know of.
Go ahead.
Peace be to it. So the late Patrick Ellen Sion, right after the war, I got images of Dr. Sion at the time. Right after the war, when the campus was damaged and destroyed, Dr. Sion got together with some students in his short trousers doing cleanup campaign with the chapia all over the place, getting put to patch those buildings, because I attended some classes in the FQ building like you're looking at today. Even the boys' dorm, the girls' dorm, I went there. It was not bad.
And Mr. Howard, just patching and doing cleanup campaign, you think? Because Leo made the point that, look, we should have built a foundation of the institution.
Okay, so
when the war subsided, and you are just talking about patching.
So this what happened. This what happened. Currently, the university is trying to transition, leaving the main campus because that place was very small for them. Moving all the classes beside the graduate program in the professional school at the main campus. The entire undergraduate program, the Insigne era and Fender, I went to Fender, is a very nice campus. Well laid off. So that main campus, they were used for some laboratory work, not on a large scale. But besides the point, it is still part of the University of Liberia campuses that need to be maintained.
And that's the main campus.
Yeah, that's the main campus, right? So again, I believe how we got here, in my view, is based on the university being underfunded.
And you were talking about some work being started by some leadership there. How did I improve the condition of the university anyway? Because what you explain to me sounds like cosmetic, or let patch, or let do cleanup campaign.
No, at the time when Dr. Sion, right after the war, those buildings were not damaged like how we've seen it now, right? So they went in there. Like I said, I attended and also taught some classes in those various buildings.
Okay.
They were, I think the United Nations, one of the UN agency reconstructed the boys' dorm. Perfect. But if you reconstruct a building, if you don't keep up the maintenance, what's going to happen?
So before I get to Leo, I want to know who or what is responsible for these conditions now. I'm talking about now.
I would say for the fact that I don't like to get into the business of playing game. And in my view, and I just said that
we have an administration in charge, though.
I agree. Right? I agree.
Okay.
In my view, and I would say this over and again, the current problem at the University of Liberia, I believe the University of Liberia being underfunded.
Okay.
Underfunded. So if you don't have funds to even buy fuel of our generator, you don't have funds to even the internet capability.
Right.
You're not going to have funds to repair buildings and even pay staff. So the university been underfunded. I believe that's the primary cause that the university is going through is going through today. If we rather fund the university, then we'll be serious for education. I thought at the university, I thought as a TA, many times I'm not getting paid. I only do it because I love to impact knowledge and I love to help people.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe the money they had, the funds, or it was not there, but that's the age-old problem in University of Liberia. It has been underfunded. Even up to currently, it reduces the University of Liberia budget. So how are you going to run an institution? It's not a high school. It's not an elementary school. It's a university.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Howard. I think that is right. My understanding has been reduced from about 18 or 19 million to 16 or something like that. Leo, I mean, who can we hold responsible here?
Yeah, it's so funny that we quick to go. I would like to address a few things first, my brother Melvin Howard talked about. First of all, there's no way you can tell me that the University of Liberia building sat there during the war for those length of time, where rain, water, and flawed, everything with zero maintenance, and a cosmetic makeup of brushing the yard and repainting and cleaning the water and repatching the floors would have cut it. First of all, this building was a very old building to begin with by then. It was already in need of massive repair or overhaul, even if there was no wall, even if it had just been operating, the maintenance of it was just getting more and more expensive as the years, like every building, it's not just a University of Liberia, any building, the older it gets, the more expensive it will get. And it sat there neglected for a period of time during the war. And then we come back to make cosmetic repairs. In fact, the war provided us a perfect opportunity to rebuild, in my opinion. That building should have been decommissioned and turned into a historical museum. And the University of Liberia should have crafted a new vision for what the current realities of the world, and also the current reality of post-conflict Liberia, the type of education UL delivered before the war would have no longer been relevant after the war in its original form. There needed to be all kinds of reforms to the type of education that was being delivered in terms of rebuilding, nation rebuilding that was required. One. Number two, let's talk about LU leaving the main campus. The problem with LU is not just the building. This is just a symbol of how bad the university is. The university does not have the capacity. It does not have the quality of research. It does not have the quality of faculty. Having few faculty there that are qualified does not equate to the amount of qualified faculty you need to deliver quality post-secondary education, number two. So Fender campus, as we speak, I visited it also, by the way, 4 weeks ago. It's also in need of repairs now. It's being neglected. The amount of repairs issue that are mounting at Fender campus, I gave you 2 more years. Fender campus will start to be the new place we'll be taking pictures of and be posting because of the lack of maintenance and repairs, again, as I speak to you. But let me get to your question. Who do we hold responsible? Look, we all cannot say, as Anthony, that the government is the problem. Then at the same time, we say we're waiting for the government to be the solution. For me, that's an upside-down theory. And I agree. If we all agree, and when I say the government, I'm not just talking about President Weah government. I'm talking about successive. Let me tell you, the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the Amos Sawyer, the HB Famulus, they all pass around. They all see UL. They're not something, and I'm sitting right there at the heart of the city. So successive governments have been the problem. And this is where I think UL have failed. Instead of hiring the people with the competence and ability to know how to mobilize and fundraise, we are only hiring people who know how to wait for the government budget to run the institution. Look, I work for a university here in Canada. I work in something called advancement. We raise, my department alone, we raise $22 million every year outside of government funding. So the university raised almost as much as 100% of what they get from government by itself through smart, genuine activities and outreach. UL have massive alumni around the globe, some of them very successful people. The University of Liberia has not been able to do anything with this alumni base, in my opinion. There's a lot of money around the world for institutions like UL in a country, a post-conflict country like Liberia. But we haven't hired and brought on the competent people at the University of Liberia, but we're waiting for government. Look, the government budget is $500 million, Anthony. Even the university I work for, 36,000 students, the budget is $787 million.
More than our nation's budget.
Yeah, even if the government took $500 million and dumped all of it in the University of Liberia, it is not sufficient to get UL to a place to be on par to produce a kind of quality education. So yes, let's blame the government for their failures. I'm not saying no, the government has a responsibility, but in the face of the government's failure, where are all the most accomplished people? Where is the UL itself hiring and bringing on the most competent people who have the ability to mobilize the resources outside of government framework? Look, running a university is an entrepreneur project. It's not a bureaucratic project for somebody, for people to just go sit down there and hope that the government will raise money to give it to them. Where are all of the innovative ideas and abilities of the University of Liberia trying their best to reach out? In my opinion, that is where the real failure is, because the government has failed. We all know that. The government doesn't even have the money to begin with.
And so, Leo, that begs the question, why the University of Liberia administration, through its president, can be doing or should be doing to raise additional revenue to run the institution?
Let me give you one. I'll give you one. As I speak to you, there are unlimited number of grants, right? In the international community that will fund. Look, even Ghana, University of Ghana, I did some work with them recently. University of Ghana is receiving a huge chunk of their budget just from grants. Most universities around the world right now don't have the ability for their governments to be able to fund them. Research that we're talking about, Ebola happened in Liberia. What happened? The millions, hundreds of millions of dollars that went into research, LU did not participate in one. It all went to foreign researchers flying to come and do stuff. Where are our brains? What happened to LU coming up with innovative research?
Let me come to Mr. Howard. But
let
your point there, Leo.
Let me just say, I can tell you that 90% of all the research done around Ebola, none of it is in Liberia right now. I know that for a fact because I've been able to access the files. Number two, most universities are funded based on quality research. That's where the real money comes from. The money doesn't come from government funding in universities. It comes from quality research. University of Liberia is zero in research right now. So my question is, where are all of these things? Do we need government first for the University of Liberia to start thinking about engaging in proper research that can mobilize the resources that are already out there sitting, waiting for the projects to come and meet them?
And how we're talking about finding ways to fund the university and not relying on government to continue to give an insignificant amount to the university. Now, from your level, the Alumni Association, I mean, many of you are here in the US, in other countries. You know, Leo Jai explained how universities around the world raise funding beside what government is giving to them, right? Have you advanced, suggested, recommended other ways that a university can raise funds? Have you?
Well, before I answer your question, let me just piggyback on my brother Leo's some point. I mean, he made very salient points. Okay. But let me just kind of take an exception to one or two of them. Okay. Now, looking at that building on those buildings on the main campus, again, you know the history of Fender was initiated by the late William Talbot, and Fender has sat there for a very long time, and the war came. You couldn't just, I mean, right away take those students transition to Fender. It's a process. It's not an event. You need money. You got to look at transportation to know how the student will be commuting. So what the university did at that time, right? The building he talks about, that building, like I said, I attended classes. They call it the FQ round or the St. Patrick era. A rocket during the war, I don't know who on the faction fell on that building. So the entire building was damaged. Now to demolish that building and to build a new one, we're talking about pretty close to $3 to $4 million for them to have done that. Just that building alone.
And so how long has it been now?
No, when I went after the war, we met that building there. Besides that, the boys' dump that around the code era, what they call the 404, the United Nations came and reconstructed that building was not passed. It was reconstructed. All the class were intact. I taught in that building. Me and the former finance minister Gafouin. Brand new building. They moved on to the girls' dorm. So my belief, the university will focus on moving on to Fender, then going to break that FQ building down at a cost of $3.5 million. That wasn't going to make sense. So they were hinking in there. The best they could have done, like I said, this university problem is not just on the government. There are three parties involved. Need to be held responsible somehow. The government has its own part to play, the administration, and we, the former students, or what they were. We have our part to play.
But talking about the former students, who should be providing the leadership here? Because the students could be over if the university administration is not engaging them. Or are you saying that you should be able to pull yourself together and decide a program through which you can contribute to the university? Talk to me.
To answer your question, I mean, it is so good I'm on this platform, and when people talk about Alumni Association, just in a group of guys getting together, just want to have fun time, and they don't give back. No, we have been exceptional, and we have records to prove that. Okay. We have been to the aid of the University of Liberia on numerous occasions. I even went to Liberia just of late, I think 3 months ago, when I went to Liberia 2019, and I visited one of the labs, that very FQ building. I went to a science laboratory. I did not see microscope to do common testing. I did not see bus up burner. The student was using copart with some like mirror glass trying to do experiment. But guess what? When we got back to the States, we read it. Just of late, we sent up a half container field of laboratory equipment, including the microscope, projectors that we just shipped to the University of Liberia. So yes, we are riding around to see how best we can come to the aid of the school.
So, Mr. Howard, good point you're making. Then I want to say thank you to the Alumni Association for the contribution. But the sense I'm also getting is that significant effort being made, but yet we see the university in a place that is a national disgrace. Does it mean that all the efforts are not enough, or is it the main fact that the management, the administration is not managing all that it receives in order to run the university? Which one?
So let me just fast forward to this present situation.
Please.
When I received those photographs, immediately I placed a call into Liberia.
Okay.
And I called some of my officers here that we needed to have done a quick intervention to save face. Intervention meaning that we're not going to rebuild that building, but at least have it painted, have it renovated, the bathroom. Because look, let's give it in this modern day and age. Where will you go to a school, not even elementary school in America, no restroom? How you going to ease yourself when you are jammed, when you're in class?
Yeah.
That broke my heart, right? So we got together and we sent a word to Liberia, to the administration, look at, give us an estimate of what you think we can do right now to at least mitigate the problem to an extent until we can, look at the bigger picture. We are still waiting for the estimate. And like my brother Leo said, it's not everything going to depend on government. Like I tell my kids, I said, not everything
there's a huge leadership problem there from what I'm hearing from you.
I don't want to say so.
Why you don't want to say so? Why you don't want to say so?
Listen now, brother Aston, I know you asked a hard question. So, like Aston said, you are not going to wait for national government before you face bathroom. No. You are not going to wait for national government before you even put pin on the building. No. That can be done by the administration, put a robust team together. In this current government, 95% of those that are serving in this government, they're from University of Liberia. I taught some of them. So what you do, reach out to them, look at Luminous. It is tough. You can help our campus. You see, so the problem is not just government. We agree. Everybody blame the government. I'm not buying the government. But you that being an administrator and also the former students, you went to that wars. It gave you who you are today to be in society. Come on, guys. Come on, let us contribute, and we have that building. Renovated.
Thank you. And Leo, I want to add this to that. I know the thought you have there. Let me add this to that. Will it be reasonable to shut down the university until it's fully renovated or rebuilt?
So let me say this, Anthony. I believe my brother Melvin Howard and other people who got the chance to get quality education from LU are doing our generation a huge disfavor. And I'll tell you why I actually say that. I was about 9 years old the first time I heard about LU needs a lot of work. UL need to be renovated. We need to upgrade it. I was 9 years old. So my hope was that when some of us get to the age where we would start to be going to university, UL will already be there. And I was 9 years old. Here I am today, a full-grown man with children. I'm still hearing this story about quick impact interventions for UL when I was 9 years old. So I would like to say this. At some point, you can't keep patching this thing for generation. You do us a favor too. The same quality education you were able to get from UL those days, the goal and aspiration should be nothing less than, hey, let's stop doing short-term interventions, because it is the short-term interventions that have made us to continue to kick the can down the road and blame somebody else. Here's what I will say, and I've said this over and over, Anthony. The Chinese government, the US government, all these people come and give hundreds of millions of scholarship every year. We send our children to China and other places to learn with things that when they come back to Liberia is not available. They can't work. They're walking around like zombies because the technology and reality they need to function in Liberia does not exist. The society is not there. So they come back with this education. Why is UL not challenging our government to tell the Chinese, the Americans, say, you know what, you get $200 million scholarship to get on. Here's what we will do. Forget a scholarship. We need you to build us a new college with the $200 million where we will educate hundreds or thousands of young Liberians with the state-of-the-art education we can do, then sending them to China to learn with things that when they come back to Liberia is non-existent. Number two, UL, in my opinion, does not have the capacity, like we just heard from our brother Howard, to give the quality education that requires. So we need to decommission our campus and turn UL, in my opinion, into a technical college. And let me tell you why I actually say so. After World War II, when Germany came back, Germany was like Liberia, right? Hundreds of displaced people, economic broken down, young people on drugs everywhere. They didn't know what to do. Up to today's day, Germany's strongest education system is the technical colleges. In fact, more than 51% of Germany's workforce comes from technical colleges. When you hear they say German engineering is not from universities. Up to today's day, because of that, Germany has one of the lowest youth unemployment in the world. Lowest youth unemployment rates in the world. What are we doing with a university that is teaching our children a bunch of knowledge that is not useful based on the needs of our country? Our universities should be designed and responsive to what our current needs are. We don't need more philosophers that can speak big English words. We need plumbers, we need carpenters, we need bricklayers, we need mechanics. Turn the University of Liberia into a technical college. The people who will get vexed, they will work hard to build it up back to a proper university delivering the right type of education. That is my argument.
So let me ask this question. You will come in, Howard. Let me ask the question. So I really want to know, when it comes to education in our country, when it comes to our educational institutions in our country, which institution, or let me put it this way generally, is education a priority in our country? Has our government made education its priority in any shape or form, given what we see with these pictures and what's happening at the University of Liberia?
Well, to answer your question, let me just pick it back again on my own brother's statement that he made. First of all, I think it will be a complete disservice to the men and women of the great University of Liberia that my own brother wants for the university to be, turned to a technical college. I think his own assessment is wrong, not because from these few images. We understand and we do know there are some challenges being faced, but notwithstanding, the University of Liberia has done best and continue to do it best.
Do you think the university has the capacity of a university?
Well, I would say yes. These are challenges.
With the pictures that we are seeing, is that a capacity
like I said,
of the university?
While it is true that those photos are disturbing, it's just one side of the story. The story
How many research has the university published?
With my brother Leo, with the story has two sides. Every story has two sides. Yes, those pictures are disturbing. I do agree. But again, there's another flip side. So I gave you an example, and I would need some folks here today that permanent society and where they came from the University of Liberia.
Maybe that is a reason why we should do all that is needed to rebuild the entire university.
We are saying this, but my brother said that it should be turned to a technical college because we don't have the capacity. And I just want to try to debunk that. That is not the case. There are some challenges the university faces with, like the campus issue, and those problems can be resolved. But to buttress my point, if you see me here today,
and the question is, when will this problem be resolved? Leo just told you it was 9 years old when we all started hearing about these problems.
Myself, I think I'm kind of a little older than him. I was younger than him, and we started hearing about the same University of Liberia problem back in the days. And some of us hesitated to attend. But trust me, I did not regret. I went there, I graduated from there, I taught there, and I came up with the LU Foundation, University of Liberia Knowledge, and I'm teaching here in this great country. So the university has made a lot of good people. You know and I know. But these challenges can be resolved.
So here is my quick intervention to that, to the debunking of what I said. First of all, our brother here cannot tell me what is the capacity of the university to deliver quality. Go to the university research page right now. Academic resources. It's blank. Let me just make my point here on this one. Number one. Yes, Melvin got a quality education from LU, right? He can come to the US and compete and do whatever he wants. My question is, when it comes to responding to nation building in Liberia, since post-war, I'm not talking about pre-war, right? Because I wasn't old enough. I can only talk about post-war. Name me one instance that the University of Liberia has contributed to. Let me tell you something. What you saying, it will be a disservice to the men and women of UL. So you don't care about the disservice that UL has been doing to generation upon generation, issuing degrees that do not match the quality of education. You're telling our young people they are getting master's degrees. So, and some of them, Anthony, don't know how to turn on a computer and turn it off. I say so because I was tutoring a few of them. to actually operate a computer properly. Number two, let me say this again. Number two, when it comes to UL, turning it to technical college is not a demotion. If anything, it's a transformation to make the institution responsive to the needs of our country, because that is what you people haven't done. Since the war ended, every day you're transforming UL. We've never gotten to a point that when school closed at UL one time for it to open at World War II, students get to demonstrate, students get to march, there get to be carnages on campus every time, just as I'm speaking to you now.
Brother Leo, again, I will say this to you that you're entitled to your view about the University of Liberia, and I do respect that, and also I do understand where you're coming from. But I am saying to you, these are challenges. Now you talk about research. In 2019, I had the opportunity to serve as the keynote speaker to the Honor Scholar graduate program. There's a special college that was created by Dr. Weeks when she was president of the University of Liberia for all like 4-pointers. Very clever kids, sound-minded, did research. I read some of the papers. It's not because you never had the opportunity to have read some of them, so you say, well, how many research they have made? Right? I saw the kids. Excuse me. I can say you photograph. You see young children that really want to go order in line. Okay? The university under the current situation that it is operating. I believe they are doing their best. You have an instructor going to school for like almost 2 months, no pay.
And then you say we have the capacity.
Why would you say it's the university? But the man still teaching. You see, he's still teaching.
And you are getting the best quality resources to be able to teach with no pay.
And gentlemen, talking about this service, gentlemen, hold it there. Talking about this service, I want to bring this other aspect in, right?
Anthony, let me just correct something. I did not say we should shut down the university.
No,
you said we should transform it to a technical college. That's my idea.
It's a disservice to the men and
women. The same way you people have done us this disservice of giving us low quality education that we can do nothing with when we graduate. Go ahead, Anthony.
And gentlemen, before I bring in the issue of that, because there's now protests going on about salary disparity, and we have the record here and we'll display on the screen, share with you too. I mean, I just want to know, gentlemen, the protests that have been going on of recent. Leo was talking about this service. The young students today, look at the condition of the university. How can you get quality education in that kind of learning environment? Would that be more disservice to them? Or will it be more disservice to the legends that you talk about who went through the war just to preserve their legendary status? We should let it be like that. Which one you think will be of most disservice to Liberians and Liberia?
Well, I don't consider those situations as disservice to any group. But here's the thing. I mean, we all, one point in time, we were students, and we know students' activities on various campuses, even in Europe, in other part of Africa, this country, students will get together for the common good. But here's the thing. You see, we should not just look at the end result of a product, but where the product started from. So all the protests and stuff, I have had opportunity, I have sat in meetings and brought about peace from way 1,000 miles away. The first protest, let me just give you some of the instances. When Dr. Weeks at the time, she was besieged in TH8, in the TH building, because the students were not satisfied with certain decision, and they held on a hostage for almost like 5 to 6 hours. I picked up the phone and spoke with the various political party leadership and the leadership of the also government, and they respected me and they released her. Look, 2 wrongs can make one right. Put the president outside, we can discuss your grievances. 1. 2, of late, the protest with regards to the e-learning business. Again, I intervened. I did not go on social media to label the administration of the students. I intervened on both sides. I called the student to see reason to prevail, because the student at the time, and I still believe, they have some genuine rights. Because we don't have that capacity to run 400% e-learning program. No, we don't. So what we came up with, look, let's do 60-40 because of the COVID.
You still can.
3. This recent protest.
E-learning when you don't have stable electricity.
Right. So
e-learning when you don't have stable electricity.
So guys, let me make a point. So
is it not the service to the students?
Well,
you don't even have stable internet.
But answer them. in a sense, you could consider that as a disservice to the students, but you can look at the root cause of why you're not having internet. Here's the thing, here's the deal. And I will say, our portion as Alumni Association, I think we should be much more robust to be very much, together in helping with any situation. But I don't see.
I get the part of your help. You think you should be more robust, or the administration and the government should be more robust when it comes to education?
Within our own powers.
Anthony, I just
want
Leo, let him learn.
I don't see that happening among the Alumni Association, because we got folks in Nigeria, we got folks in Canada, we got folks in Liberia, and folks here. I'm the national in Canada. Europe. We have not really come together on a robust on our side to put the resources together to help. Now, on the side of the administration, right? I think with that issue of the e-learning, the administration are known fully well, and those. These were my point to them. If you don't have the full capacity to go, online, right? Try to accommodate these students. Because here's the thing here. We plan, when this situation is going on, we are planning, with the association have to put some money together, about 15 to 20,000 US dollars, to send it where was the data. Well, if you get the data, you don't have current. If you get current, if no current, you don't have fuel. So it's a multiple problem.
I see that.
So
I see that.
So Anthony,
I
just want to make some very few points here. For me, I like evidence. I like to compare evidence, right?
Yeah.
Like I reminded you, when Germany came from World War II, Germany was like Liberia. You look at the numbers, the stats are almost the same.
Right.
Young people were destitute, former soldiers, on drugs, economy damaged. There was nothing, right? Up to today. So let me ask you, if Germany can build one of the robust economies in the whole world that relies on technical, 51% of our German school leavers go to a technical college. I just want to know, what is wrong with a technical college that, look, this big shot thing we get in Liberia, or are going to UL, the state-run university. I graduated from the state-run university. There's nothing wrong with that. Those of you who graduated from UL before the war will give you all the credit. Y'all got quality education, some of the best in the world. We acknowledge that. But now y'all want us to, when I mean us, I'm talking about my generation. I've been blessed. I've been lucky enough that through refugee camps, I ended up to where I ended up and went to post-secondary school here. So you know what I'm doing? We can no longer be fixing the thing piecemeal. Oh, we help with internet here. We will have to clean the lab. We will have to fix. No, we can't keep. You're talking about
help with data.
Yes, you're talking about our future. We will no longer accept our 9 years old when we've been doing cosmetic fixes, and today we're still talking the same problem. We are saying, give us a transformational change that will allow us to fully enjoy the quality of education you enjoy. Let me tell you something today. Technical colleges have proven to be one of the most effective economy builders in the world. This is data. This is research. This is not me. If Liberia needs to rebuild its economy, if Liberia needs to have highly skilled, trained labor force or whatever, ask anybody. A university does not deliver that.
So, Leo.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hold on there. Gentlemen, hold it there. Let me do something here quickly. Now, one of the reasons that contribute to this whole chaos on the University of Liberia campuses is the issue of salary disparity, and the teachers have been complaining about it. Now, what we've seen based on record is that you see some administrative staff making more than the lecturers and the professors, both in terms of salary and also allowances. So let's show you this.
Yeah.
Now, you may not be able to see it good, but I will tell you that now, executive assistant who is in just administration is making $252. That's USD as their allowance. Then for their basic salary in Liberian dollars, making 303,000 Liberian dollars. Now compare that to somebody who is an instructor. That instructor is making 170 US dollars.
Yeah. Even an assistant professor.
Okay,
assistant professor. Now their basic salary, hold on now. Their basic salary is 182,000 Liberian dollars. So the administrative staff, they are making more than the professors. Now that disparity has caused the students to stage a protest action, and we're going to show that video, and then we'll come back to you guys for us to talk about it. So bear with me as I bring in the protest video that just happened. Watch.
Foreign ministry, where the university students have taking the street in demand of the return of teachers. Okay, the Liberian National Police is moving on them. They are from one of the students' political party, that is campus-based political parties called PROSA. You have the Liberian National Police moving on them.
So there you have poor students. Teachers lay down chalks.
Yeah.
The teacher are saying, hey, how can you pay us less and pay your administrative staff more when we are doing all the heavy lifting? So now you have to correct this salary disparity. Now the students being affected.
I have two questions for my brother Melvin. So he
before you ask me, let me just ask you a question. I will take your two questions.
Go ahead.
First, so let me piggyback again on your position that the University of Liberia should be turned into a technical college. Am I right?
That's correct.
So then are you also saying or telling me or telling Liberian people that we need to turn the technical colleges to high school, turn the high school to elementary school? Because if you're making that assertion about the University of Liberia, so that means you look at the entire educational system.
Let me answer you.
Let
me answer your question.
So that's the argument only for the University of Liberia. Because I'm saying to you, if you do turn it, let me pay your own suggestion. If they do turn the University of Liberia to a technical school, then you don't think a technical school in Liberia can be a high school and be elementary school and so down and so forth?
So first of all, let me correct it there. A technical college is different from a vocational institution. Those are two different things. A technical college combines theory and practical. That's what it's called, technical college. That's why it's a college. A vocational institution heavily focuses on only the technical, practical aspect of learning, which is experiential learning. You want to be carpenter, you go learn to be an actual carpenter. You don't do the theory part of it. A technical college is a fine balance of the practical, technical knowledge combined with the basic theoretical piece that you need to be able to function. So most of the stuff you are referring to are not technical colleges. They are vocational institutions. We don't have technical colleges in Liberia. There isn't one. I challenge you to show me one technical college in Liberia.
What was it? Maryland? What's up, Maryland County?
Maryland County, it's not a technical college. Define technical college. The definition of a technical college. It is not.
The act that created.
One at a time, gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't want to throw, because this is what we do. We throw terminologies around in Liberia and people don't understand it. Sometimes they argue, right? I'm not throwing this term around. I'm saying a technical college, which means you are combining the theory. Right now, what we're doing at the university is mostly theoretical, right? It's research, it's highly theoretical, high-level theoretical. That's what the university is. That's why you produce mostly researchers when you go to university. A technical college produces people that strike a fine balance between the practical and the theory.
I know that.
What I'm saying is transform UL into a tech. Right now, we don't have. Name me one. Totman University that you're talking about. It's a university. It's not a technical college. It's a university by Liberian standards now. It is a university. There is not one technical college in the Republic of Liberia.
Brother Leo, just to end this on this topic, I believe.
Did I answer your question? So I'm not asking you.
I mean, the best way that I kind of suit.
So no, do not turn technical colleges into anything, because there is none. We only have vocational schools.
So to end on this note, I believe back in the years before some of us were born, I believe the University of Liberia went through series of challenges, and we were able to go there and come up. And like I said, and I always say, this issue we're seeing will be resolved, and the University of Liberia will remain strong, and the continent will remain strong. Those are challenges.
Let
me take your question.
I got two questions for you to ask you. Right. Number one, do you believe the University of Liberia in its current state is offering the quality of education needed to build the Liberian economy? Number one. Number two, do you believe the University of Liberia has the quality of resources, the quality of investments to deliver the type of education that is required, that you being in the US, that you would call a quality education? Those two questions. And if not, then why are we calling it a university? Because those are the things that make a university a university.
And if I can add to that, you said to us that you are teaching here in the US, if I got that right.
Right.
Do you see the same learning environment that you are experiencing in the US, in Liberia? And is it possible that we can take that or provide that same learning environment in Liberia? Is it possible?
Well, to answer your question, yes, it is possible. Not as impossible for people, for people of goodwill can I achieve. So when I said that recently we were able to ship some stuff, some of the instruments that we see people use here, they were shipped, the projector, the whiteboards. So it is possible for the learning environment to change, but it's going to take some time and it requires hard work and a lot of resources. So to answer my brother Leo's first question, under the current situation, the current circumstances, holding all factors constant, and we know what's going on, I believe strongly the folks at the University of Liberia, they may not be 100% perfect, but they are striving daily to keep the doors of the university open to have our children.
And what has been done?
No, but that's not my question, Melvin. My question is, do you believe the University of Liberia is delivering the quality of education to develop the economy, to respond to the economic needs of Liberia? And two,
say again,
it has the resources, the facilities, and the investment to deliver a university, proper university quality education? That's my question.
Two questions into one.
Yeah.
Your first part of the question, under the current situation and circumstances, I believe they are trying to provide.
So no. So your answer is no, they are not.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's not no. No.
You said they are trying. That means they're not doing it.
No, but they are not there yet.
Also, that means they're not doing it. They're not there.
They are trying. They are doing
something. You are either to Waterside Market or you're not. You can say I'm trying.
There's not a yes or no straight jacket or solution or answer. Okay, do you believe with the current situation, those are impediments the university face with right now, and under the circumstances in which they are operating, I believe they are trying. But they can be.
So what are the things that they are doing now? You said they are trying. Tell me the practical things that have been done right now to address all these conditions facing the students and the university.
Well, I think of that. I think just recently I was in Liberia when they put up a huge graduating class from the medical school. Those are doctors today. They in Liberia working medical doctors. They got a training from LU, right?
Yeah.
Lawyers, some good lawyers today, permanent in society, even outside of Liberia. So you see, with the limited resources they have, they try.
No. You didn't answer the question, Mr.
Answer the question. You keep evading the question.
What are the things that has been done to improve the learning environment and the quality of education? Why are they
done according to you? You said they are trying. So what are some of the things they've done to improve the learning environment and quality of education?
Well, again, I don't have those things that they have done as a report that was given to me from the university administration.
That should be available.
Mr. Howard, yeah, some of the things they are doing. Number one, they say they're bringing e-learning. My question to you is that working? Another thing that has been done is tuition-free education. Is that helping or is that hurting the university?
Okay, thank you. Great question. On the issue of the e-learning, I would say, in my view, they are not there 100% yet. No, not even 40%. There are still more work needs to be done. And one of the major booster of the e-learning is the internet capability. You have to have internet 24/7.
Are you saying they don't have all the tools they need for the e-learning?
They don't have all the tools. They don't have all the tools.
So then,
right?
So how long is it going to
take? Listen. They are getting there. I know pretty soon they will get the tools, but for now they don't have all the tools. Now on the issue of the tuition, the free tuition policy, and I would say this, like I said,
Mr. Howard, I hate to do this, but do they have a budget on the e-learning? Do they have a budget on the whole e-learning program and how to sustain it?
So maybe y'all won't be trying with the future of the Liberian children. The university might be trying with the future of the Liberian people, of the young
Leo and Snap. Leo and Sia.
Yeah.
Let me give the consideration. I am now administrator at the University of Liberia.
No, you're not.
You're arguing this argument. I'm asking based on your argument that we might be trying with the future. It's such a crucial time of our nation. We're talking about we trying.
I'm only speaking to what I have seen as an individual thus far.
And I'm saying it's not enough.
Okay, fine. You see, I say they are trying. You will say, no, maybe I disagree. They are not trying.
No, maybe let me
what
ask
I'm
you
saying, I'm not a president of Universal Library to say, you know what, we will do this. I have my own personal take when it comes to certain things. Now, let's go to the issue of the tuition-free policy. Like I said, there are 3 parties should be held responsible for my initial comment. 1, I talk about the administration. They need to play their part. 2, I even talk about the Alumni Association, former students and graduates around the world. And 3, the government. I will say this. In life, everybody, including myself, we all left free thing. Trust me, nobody want to cash out and left. If my bosses tell me that I don't kind of work, will pay you free, I will take it and jump for that. When the government of Liberia, through President Weah, announced the free education, right? I put out a release commending the president, but that release came up with some level of caveat in it.
Yeah, I know. That one was going to come out. That university.
Why are you putting out a release when you got? No, let's be fearless.
No, Leo, calm down small. I mean, you are a leader.
I'm not really coming down because this
is at the time President Weah had a wisdom and he went in with a good intent. However, in my view, I personally believe that whole policy was not crafted well. It was not planned. If that would have been planned and crafted well, it is a good thing to help deserving students.
Is it helping or is it hurting the university?
I will tell you, absolutely not. It is not helping, and I believe strongly. Again, these are some of the problems that are coming up because number 1, you need to run the university. You need operational funds.
I don't.
As the university run right now, there's no money for operation.
Let us come back. Question.
Leo, let me bring this in, then we'll go to the colors. Let me bring that into you, so we'll bring the colors in. So, Samuel Twe is a proud graduate of the university, from what I know. Nathaniel Mangill is a proud graduate of the university, from what I know.
Right.
The last time I saw Nathaniel Mangill in Nikrutan, he was giving the women of Douala 3,000 LD. The last time I saw him again, he was in Bomb County. He gave another, no, did I say 1,000? 3 million Liberian dollars. That's why he gave to the women in Douala at the Douala market. When he went to Bomb County, he gave another millions. These are boys who were broke just yesterday. Now, the last time when President Weah went to even Tottenham High, the building too was leaking.
It's falling apart.
It was embarrassing. I don't know what is being done, but the question I'm trying to ask this both of you is that we have people at the helm of power who are alumni or graduates of the university, and the university is facing this challenge and passing around as though they have no idea what's going on.
So, Anthony, to those points, let me just put it this way: I'm no longer here to live the lies and illusions that we've been told since we were small. I will tell you this today. People keep making us believe, oh yeah, we'll face the problem. We just need to add this. Look, I am telling you what is wrong with people making it to look at a technical college is a less prestigious thing. No, in the West, people actually who graduate from technical colleges make way more money than people who graduate from universities. Actually, people who graduate from technical college has a higher rate of employment than people who graduate from university. So let me ask you, what is wrong with admitting that the University of Liberia in its current state is not capable of delivering the quality of education that is required to deal with Liberia economic issues? Number 2, you are more interested in protecting the university being university because you don't want to do a disservice to those of you who graduated from there. That is what you said. I'm less concerned about what those of you who graduated from there are interested in protecting that you graduated from LGBTQ, or what the future of Liberia looks like for an institution that is supposed to be dependent on to deliver the future of Liberia. Look, let me tell you this. If we are serious, if we transform UL to a proper technical college, and the people who graduated from there who say they are above that level, they are vexed, then all the experts that we've produced, my brother Melvin, how come they cannot produce one workable solution for us? Our economists are failures. All of them don't know theory. They don't know how to write papers. Please tell me how the medical school graduates that have been put or doctors have impacted the healthcare system in Liberia. Please tell me how the engineering department engineers that have graduated have transformed the infrastructure landscape, because that transformation does not only have to come through government. When a university is delivering quality education, entrepreneurs are developed. The private sector becomes stronger because everybody does. Please connect for me the university education, how it is transforming the Liberian society and the economy itself. Can you please make that connection for me?
Well, first of all, to my brother Leo and CM, I think my being on the show, I'm here in my capacity as the president of the Lumina Association, not an administrator at the University of Liberia. No. If I tell you I ever seen the University of Liberia payroll, I'll be lying to you. No, I don't run them fair. So on the issue of how many students or what the criteria they use to put a student as medical doctor, I think it will serve the best interest of the university if you can invite either the president or one of the vice president of academic affairs.
No, I'm saying, have you seen transformation in the healthcare system as a result?
Well, I can't tell you yes or no because really I don't follow the Liberia healthcare system to do what have you. No,
okay.
I'll be lying to you.
Right. Leo,
maybe you know, maybe you got your data to know whether there is no improvement in the healthcare system.
I'm giving you my data as much as I know. That's
all I can say to you. You're entitled to your view, brother Leo. That's a fine suggestion to turn the university into a technical college. That's perfect. I think the University of Liberia is a government-run institution. That level, the visitor and the board of trustees, if they see what you say, it makes sense, fine. But all I am saying, there has been challenging time before, I believe in the past, before we were born, went to university, and they came through. I'm giving you hope that these are challenging time.
Yeah.
And if we work together as former students along with the administration and the government, those issues can be resolved.
Yeah, Melvin, thank you.
I went on Fenner campus and I see Fenner, they have some good place. Now, another piece, the alumni here, what we're doing also to help the learning environment, we have launched a project, a $2.7 million project to construct a multi-purpose, that's a recreation hall. Like where in that place you have a gymnasium of 10,000 capacity where they can have the graduation in a hall. We have a mini clinic. That's what we're working on right now. We've been
but why you can renovate a broken down facility first and you're building another new one on top of it?
Leo, you're not understanding.
Gentlemen,
they are not using main campus anymore. Everybody transitioning to Fender.
Gentlemen, we have to take calls. Let's take a calls. Hey, call us. The numbers to call are on the screen, and please call on WhatsApp. The numbers to call are on the screen. Please call on WhatsApp. And those who are in Liberia, we are doing this all because of you. So please call the WhatsApp numbers on the screen, 651-399-1614. I see a caller here.
Gentlemen, we have to take calls.
All right. We have a caller here. Caller, your name and where you joining us from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Musa Williams.
Mr. Williams, let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, thanks for the two panelists. I listened to the brother from Europe. I think Europe. He has a good heart, but like we always said, good heart and good intention cannot run a country. Anything you want to do for the public, once you're doing it for the public, you have to do obligation because you are doing it for people to benefit and you choose to do it. So if you want to do good heart, you want to do something for the public with good heart, then you can choose to do charity or not. But the idea that the University of Liberia would depend on its alumni around the world to sustain the campus is a joke.
Okay.
If you look at more spoke about our own self-consciousness. If you look at the campus, look at the environmental condition of the campus. It's not conducive for learning. That's one. Number two, the second thing is the position of the university, most especially the one on the capital bypass where it's located. It's a lot of noise. It's in constant noise. Nobody learns in that kind of environment. So what Mobile is saying is that you can turn it into a technical college. Once you turn it into a technical college, you're going to reduce some of those, some of the buildings going to be used for something else. And now you can focus on building a university outside. Maybe you can go to Fenner campus, enlarge the Fenner campus on the campus.
Thank you.
And in terms of sustainability, the money they are paying the teachers, you came down with the breakdown. That's a joke. So it's just impossible for anyone to learn at the university right now with all strength. Now, e-learning, how do you, 80% of the population are unemployed, and how do you implement e-learning in a very unemployed society like Liberia?
Thank you.
It's going to be stressing people out. I don't want to take all your time.
Thank you. We have a lot of callers. Yeah. All right. Let's take this caller. Caller on phone number 2529. Your phone number ending 2529. Your name and where you calling from. Caller, go ahead. Your phone number ends in 2529. Please go ahead.
Yeah. This is George Toto.
Chairman Toto, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just following the discussion, and I think the both speaker making some very good point. But when it comes, they wouldn't take a house that when it comes to transforming the university into technical college, and then we have a little bit of problem with my late brother Leo. I tell you, the university into technical college is not going to solve the problem on the campus. It's not going to give them. It's not going to give the university a clean bathroom. Is it going to give them a clean or good running water or internet service? I think the problem is there already. There's a need for to address and see how best to solve the problem. For transforming it from one stage to another, it's not going to eradicate the problem.
Okay.
And then also number two, I did went to a university in Africa. I was a student at the University of Nigeria, and I saw how campuses look. This thing happens across Africa. Across Africa, across the university, those are major problems that affect African universities. Even restroom, when I was in the University of Nigeria, we should go to bush as Nigeria is. We should go to bush to use to attend to nature.
Wow.
All right. In Nigeria, I'm not lying, I'm not kidding. I'm telling you the truth. This is happening. So we should be focusing on how to as on the other side, the Alumina Association with I got ambition at LU, but did I tell LU? That's the time I left Nigeria. So I consider myself a Alumina too. So there's a need for us all to come together and see how best to help to resolve the problem through our little contribution. But by you changing it from this issue, then I don't think it's going to make any big difference.
All right, thank you, Mr. Toto. Leo, the phone lines are busy, so please write questions that come to you. Let's take this one phone number ending in 7817. 7817. Let's hear you.
Yes, my name is Joel Bemba, and I appreciate I want to say thank you for the show, and thank you to all the guests in studio. So one of the first things I want us to look at here is the fact that I think the question we will be asking ourselves is, do we need university education in Liberia? We need it, right? So I don't think the University of Liberia needs to be changed into a technical college. I think the question here is, when it comes to educational planning, we don't really plan well in Liberia. So, for example, you have the University of Liberia. Every year they accept students. So we need to be able to have a plan into place that clearly spell how many students we need to admit, how much money we need to be spending on each student at the University of Liberia, what should be the budget detail for each of those students. So almost like in other countries, before the academic year, all of those details are worked out. What should a faculty member be paid? A starting faculty member, when he starts, how much he should be paid? What is the comparison with other universities in the region? For example, Lagos. What are they giving as incentives to their faculty? Now, we don't have that into well-structured place into Liberia, in Liberian higher education system. So as a result, we have a problem because if we say, for example, we need accountant, Liberia need accountant, there's no way you can run a country without an accountant. There's no way you can run the country without, for example, without certain career opportunities. The only question is how many of those individuals we need, and then how many of them we need to admit at the university. Those are issues that need to be addressed. Now, when it comes to the technical college issue, I'm one of those who said the county community colleges they are opening, those colleges should be technical colleges.
All right.
And I wanted the error we're making like all the colleges we have colleges in the rural counties. It's not a bad idea. but those colleges should be turned into technical college and not conventional.
And you think those colleges even have the capacity needed to provide the quality of education and the training that needed to be our country?
Yeah, those colleges they are currently running, they should not be opening degree program like accounting in those different colleges. Accounting, political science, journalism. Those different colleges in accounting should be technical college focusing on, for example, construction. Focusing, for example, computer.
Okay.
All right, we need computer education now. Focusing on laboratory science. Those practical areas, those colleges in the county should focus on the areas. But it's so sad to hear that those colleges are offering conventional associate degree programs.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
It's really a waste, to the country.
Thank you.
But universal Liberia should remain conventional.
Thank you.
And then you get the technical in the county. Thank you.
All right. Let's take the other one. Caller calling from Australia. Your number ends in 219. Quickly, let's hear you.
I'm William Davis. I'm calling from Australia.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. The point that Leo is stressing is a very good point. The area in which Liberia is right now, we don't really need university studies now. We need a technical college. And I will tell you something. I went to school in Africa. I attended the PSC local university, which is a technical college. No, I did business management. The business management I did was theory and practical. So when you leave from there as a manager, you are going to develop something as a manager already. Because the practical know-how is there, the theoretical know-how is there. That's the importance of a technical college. That's why when you go to Ivory Coast, you take out one government university, the rest of the schools, more than 500 schools, technical college, ASK Loco, KJ, SR, all these things are technical colleges. And the students from those colleges, they are more effective, even compared to university students, because they get practical and theoretical. So somebody will just graduate from there, you can set up a supermarket immediately.
Thank you.
Because you know the technical know-how.
Thank you.
Theoretical know-how.
Thank you.
So Liberia right now, we need technical colleges.
Thank you.
That's the only way we can develop our young people.
Thank you.
To be effective in the workforce.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Leo, I think we have to bring you back in to talk about it.
Yeah, let me get addressed on my
coming, but let's take the last caller here with phone number ending in 0985. Quickly, 1 minute. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Benedict Water. I call from Iowa in the USA. And I just want to scratch something. Leo is 100% right. Can you imagine somebody in a master program? And I came from Ghana. I asked the young man, he's doing his master. I asked him, I said, put the computer. Just the one, put the computer. He was sitting there, don't even know what to do. In a master program, put the computer. He doesn't even know what the word put the computer means. And we call that place a university. We must be joking in Liberia. Honestly speaking, people graduating from the University of Liberia and don't even know how to even write or to even type a 15 letter on computer. Some of them have never seen a computer in their life. And we call that place a university. I got a daughter here, she's in 7th grade, still 7th grade, and she works on the computer very well. She sits at home and she do her studies on the computer. She does everything well on the computer. And somebody in Liberia graduated, have a master's degree, and still don't know the word put the computer.
I know.
How about we must be joking in Liberia?
Thank you.
Seriously. So we can call that place a university. Let's try to transform it into a technical college, so that at the end of the day, our people can live on that place with a prepared mind.
Thank you.
And ready for the job market.
Thank you. Yeah, folks, that would do it for calls.
You have to do a round two of this show.
And gentlemen, because of time, I will give you 3 minutes each to answer the question and give your closing. Let's start with you, Leo.
Yeah, so let me say this first of all. Let me define technical college. I think a lot of people here haven't taken the time to define what a technical college is. A technical college is a dual system of education and training, highly recognized worldwide due to its combination of theory in the classroom and training in real life environment. That is what a technical college is. So let me answer some of the questions. I am actually advocating for us to increase the quality of education in Liberia by transforming LU to a technical college. And I will tell you why I actually say that. Number one, to my big brother George Toto said, turning the university will not change the situation of the Biafran debate. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the quality of the education. When you transform UL into a technical college, the curriculum will have to be transformed. And let me tell you what will happen. When you take a serious proposal to countries and our partners around the world, and you are able to connect for them how what you are proposing will directly have an impact on the economy and the long-term prosperity of Liberia, they will listen to you because it makes more sense. And two, they also know the potential of technical colleges in their own countries. I will tell you this today, Anthony, there is a disconnect with trying to provide a university-based education in Liberia when we do not have the capacity, we do not have the resources. There is nothing wrong. All the things that my brother Melvin is saying, there is nothing wrong with working on all those things, but making sure right now we are providing the type of education that is responsive. Let me tell you something. You know what happening in Liberia when every year we are producing more plumbers, more carpenters, more bricklayers. We complain about the Fula Jalo coming from Guinea and opening a shop and turning it into a healthy business. We complain about trying to hire construction workers in Liberia. We can't even find many Liberians that are qualified and capable enough. We complain about the Chinese coming and taking all the contracts. You know why? Because we are not producing a skilled labor force. We are producing university graduates who many of them memorize. And by the way, technical colleges produce nurses. They produce engineers. Engineering is a technical education. Nursing is the health sector is a technical education. All you are doing, you are not allowing them to just go write papers based on research. You are giving them a balance of the theory and the practical so that by the time they come out of school, if there is no jobs in the government, they become entrepreneurs because they have the practical ability to set up their own shop and run things. I will tell you today, we can no longer live, we can no longer have Liberia on the basis of hope. We tire with hope. I was 9 years old when we were giving hope that LU would be fixed. We want reality now. Thank you for the hope. We will keep praying for that. But while you work on the hope, our futures cannot be wasted. So what do? Fold our hands and wait for the situation until one day the Alumni Association can raise as much money as it wants. It is not able to solve the problem of the University of Liberia. Transform the university to technical college, bring in competent people who know how to raise money, who know how to mobilize funds outside of what the government would do. That is what colleges do around the world. They raise millions of dollars. And I can tell you today, UL has a unique opportunity to raise millions because the situation the UL is in, if it can put its acts together, get the right people in who know how to raise money and go after resources, donors around the world will want to see how they can contribute to something that will be transformational to rebuilding a post-conflict country and not just saying we will keep the university running until we get money to renovate it.
Thank you, Leo. Mr. Howell?
Yeah, so I'll be quick to just answer quickly to some of the concerns raised. First of all, let me just restate again. The University of Liberia got a very good campus. I visited the Fennel campus, well built, that can create that learning environment. So the main campus, as I said, and I would say, is they only use the main campus for the law school. I think the Bambagida School of Graduate. But the entire undergraduate has moved to St. Jade. Somewhere in Grand Cape County, they got another satellite campus and Fennel campus. So let's just get that. The picture we saw is bad. We are working on it and will be resolved. So on that basis, we can't say because of that.
You're not in administration and you say we are working on it. So
no, listen now. See, when I say we, the Alumni Association, in conjunction with the administration, we are together on this matter. I'm hands-on on it. I place call into them. We can find the resources to help our school. So we are working together on this matter.
That is
so that should not be one of the yardsticks to be used that LU should be converted to a technical college or technical school or what have you. Again, I'll repeat, in the 80s. When the
But is there any danger in it? I know you're closing. Is there any danger in doing that?
Why are you afraid of it?
Yeah, but sir, you gave me 3 minutes uninterrupted. We listen. Let me give my 3 minutes. I'm not going to even have you interrupted me. Then you can come in.
Sorry, Melvin. My apologies.
Good, thank you. As for student protest, when I spoke at the commencement, I was the keynote speaker when President Weah and guests were sitting there. I made it clear to the students, you cannot be teacher and students at the same time. Let us dialogue. There will be continued protest. Trust me. Student protest for smart, no remember about the protest. We saw a lot of protests in the 80s when Doe came to power. People even went on campus and killed some students. But every stay persevere and produce good students today that we're so proud of. Now, on the issue of someone saying, or graduate cannot just boot a computer. Look, the school don't make you, you make yourself. Back in the days when you go to St. Patrick, Cathedral, you are the elite. But some of us that want to Tottenham, people call it St. Denis. Trust me, that's smart student. You make yourself. So if a guy cannot boot computer and your daughter 7 years old can boot computer, should not give you a conclusion that based upon that it should, turn early to technical school or what. I give an example. I teach accounting and auditing in this country. I taught one of my students, he graduated from the college, and I met him somewhere downtown Providence. He was in one of my download working, and I knew he was my student. But hey, if I asked him about the debit and credit, probably he would not know it. He into a different era. So that state cannot just justify they are now a university. So again, I believe again, there are quality of students in that country. The university are put on and continue to put up. But when you into society, you your own man, you can decide to do what you want to do. It's not a university. So with that, on that note, the university will still remain supreme. There are challenges we're going through and will be resolved, and we'll put up more good graduates in all discipline. Thank you. So you can ask the question.
Supreme.
Thank you.
What does that mean?
Our
the supreme leading institution.
Is it the leading institution?
We are the macrocosm of the Liberian society.
And the Liberian society is terrible right now. So I hope we get
that other discussion. Let's keep it for another day.
And surely we have to keep it for another day because I don't see that picture you just painted for us. Folks, this is how we'll come to the end of yet another edition of our program.
See, before we conclude, let me just make a passionate appeal and close up.
Please.
We all have spoken, and I enjoyed the discussion. It's healthy for our country. I want to make a passionate appeal. You can't live in the house or side the house and that house barren, dead and smelling, or you do Europe barren smelling. Let all of us come together as Liberians. Whether in Europe, the little you can call the university. There are 3 parties involved, and I will tell you before I close. The administration got their own fault. You can't wait for national government before you can even face a bad room for students to use. That's not just fair to the government. The Alumni Association, we got a lot of us in Liberia, in government, even on this side. I mean, well off. We need to come together, put a resource together, and help the school and the government. What something is not working, don't force it. The free tuition is good, but it's hurting the University of Liberia. Let me say it today. There is no money for operation. So I believe strongly it is wrong to do salary disparity. It is very wrong. But I believe, in my view, maybe try to accommodate the other students, not for him to leave, right? We're just paying the salary. But once they get operational funds, we'll run the school, we'll run the generator. We will not be lack of fuel or lack of data, but no operational funds to run the school because why? The tuition we used to pay it that they won't use to run the school. Even in America here, you can't get it free. So please, to the government, look at our policy. If it's not working, we know you mean well. Revert it, let the student pay least fee to make them responsible to obtain their education. That's my appeal.
All right. I give you a minute too. We have to go.
So full disclosure, Melvin, just so you know, in 2017, I took the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Rights to Development to LU. We met with one of the vice presidents for academic affairs. He's also one of the deans at McMaster University in Canada. We were exploring the opportunity for having some accredited courses, right, with the school. When we came back and they did their assessment, they could not approve it because LU could not meet the standards, the things that they require to be able to accredit LU or course to LU. UL could not meet the standards, so they could not. However, what I proposed to the UL administration was that you need to set up that alumni office. You need to set up a fundraising arm that is private and independent of the university that can set up pathways and avenues to attract funding. I offered myself, and I'm repeating it again, I offered myself and my expertise, but that will have to come with a condition that we will have the ability to propose what needs to be done with donor funds so that it is sustainable, because donors are saying, they don't just want to keep hashing the problem. Donors with big money, I will tell you, they want transformation that is practical. They don't want to say we will solve the problem this year and then next year. So I'm offering myself again. But I repeat, we cannot go to donors and mislead them that LU as a university is capable of offering the quality of education needed. We must admit that it is not currently. That is not a disparaging comment. LU was one of the greatest before, we know that. But currently, it is not capable. So let's rebuild. And I'm arguing that
we're gonna recruit you. I will file your name to the directors of Illuminati.
I'm happy to offer my 2 cents.
All can put hands together, all hands on deck to help that university.
Yeah, so, and I hope the directors are open-minded to listen to some very transformative, out-of-the-box ideas, and not basically saying because they say so, because for me, I'm concerned about transforming.
They will be, trust me, they will be. Myself, I take the same approach when we deal with on the Illuminati affairs business. We want to look at the bigger picture, not just individual interest. Yeah, thank you.
And those of you that are waiting for government to lead, you can wait for government to lead. I'm an entrepreneur. We are attracted to problems. We try to troubleshoot problems, even when the people who are responsible don't lead. Government has failed to lead. We will not let Liberian children down by saying because the government failed to lead, so we just said no. We will think us out of the box. We will find a lot of innovative ways by finding solutions while we pressure the government to lead. We will not sit down, make big mouth, and fold our hands. So let's not say because the government failed, it means we should sit down. No, let's work.
Yeah, but see, we did not answer your question when you asked about my gay and 12. We just left that question.
Yeah, we have to go. We have to go. We have to go. And folks, this is how we will come to the end of this broadcast. And this is what I have to close. McGill is an alumna of the University of Liberia. Samuel Twe is also a graduate. They control Liberia right now. The issue of the free tuition, we are all convinced now it is not happening. We appreciate that, but it is not happening. In other words, it's not enough. The University of Liberia must be looked into. This should increase the budget.
Yep.
The e-learning they're talking about is a joke and it is a disservice. The e-learning, I repeat, is a joke and it's a disservice. The University of Liberia should be able to provide its own electricity. It should be able to acquire 250 kVA generators. If there are 3, let them get it and let them provide their own electricity. Government should be able to do that. If we can afford or sustain a private jet, we should be able to afford and sustain at least 2 generators running on our university so that power can be on our university and then they can look into the e-learning. But the way things are right now is a disservice. The legislature should increase the funding of the university. The professor should be given the necessary incentives. The administrative staff should not be making more than the lecturers. That is the service. That salary disparity is not sustainable. It is unfair to the lecturers, and the students of Liberia are the ones suffering this thing, and they are not helping Liberia. And that is why we brought you the topic, the University of Liberia, a travesty of education and nation building, and showed it is. That is how we will come to the end of this broadcast here. I focus on Liberia. The song that says, we are all Liberian, all Liberians close us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia, we want. Liberia, we want. Liberia, Liberia.